Calling to order the County Council's regular meeting for Tuesday, January the 14th, 2020. Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the roll, Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Here. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Ms. Simon. Here. Ms. Baker. And Council President Brady.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
Yes, Mr. President, we have several who want to address council. The first is Reverend Roz McAllister.
Good evening. Many of you may remember that the last time I came before you, I presented to you the 2007 State Review for Children's Services. You have chosen to put a levy on the ballot for an increase. I am here to tell you that 2019 is almost as dismal as 17. We don't need more workers. We need workers to do their job, and it says so right in here. Missing records, incomplete records. We don't track our caseworkers on the road. It would have been much cheaper, instead of hiring more workers, to issue tablets, much like the Samsung ones that are currently on sale at Office Max for $150, with Wi-Fi, so we will know which caseworkers are having their nails done during working hours, rather than being at the Jones family. Also, we are not following state and federal regulations that would save both money and trauma to our children. Why is it taking 2 months to get an FBI check on a relative while we are paying an agency up to $2,000 a month for 2 children? What a waste and trauma to those children. Why, when we are issuing vouchers for clothing and the children move from one place to another, do those clothes that this county paid for not transferred with the children? One family that I have advocated for lost $500 worth of belongings, many of sentimental value. Tell that to an 8 and a 9 and a 15-year-old, because they were gifts from their family. You have chosen to put an increase on the ballot. And in closing, I ask you this. If your teenage son had not cleaned his room, taken out the garbage, or did his homework for a week, how much are you increasing his allowance? Thank you. Oh, and I have the report here, should anybody want a copy. I did drop one off before Christmas. However, I do have another copy. Thank you.
Mr. Brian Mallory.
Good evening. County Executive Budish, Council President Brady, distinguished council members. I'm a community organizer with Noble. Some of you are familiar with that organization. And I'm here to first applaud you, in particular Councilman Schron and Miller, in your efforts to add some light on the opioid settlement. I do applaud the steps that you gentlemen have suggested. I'm also here to advocate for council to stay true to their calling to help those communities that have been most adversely affected in this crisis. Cleveland has many wonderful small grassroots, faith-based community organizations that have been disproportionately affected by this crisis. It's our hope that we would see the county designate some of the settlement money in the area of restoration to these communities through effective grassroots organizations that come forward. We would also like to see them help in the efforts to get out the word, the education, the communication, connecting with those rehabilitative services that are available here in the county. And we also would like to see some of this money go to the area of kinship care. Kinship care, a lot of parents, grandparents have been affected by this who are taking care of minor children, and they do not receive the same level of services that others in the foster care or the adoption system. So I thank you for your time and your efforts so far, and we will be watching. Thank you.
Bob Ivory.
Good evening, Council President, County Executive Budish, Council, and members of Cuyahoga County. I just wanted to stop by briefly and just kind of informally share with you just some positive, some exciting, and I think some encouraging news around the Students of Promise Closing the Achievement Gap initiative that you so faithfully support through your efforts. And this is just through one school district. I have data that I want to formally at some point maybe come to a committee or somehow concretize it and get it to you, but it's just to me encouraging. And I, as you know, love every opportunity to celebrate our scholars. This is just at Warrensville Heights High School. And this is Councilwoman Brown's district. Of the 66 students that the linkage coordinator who coordinates that effort at the school, there were, and this was the last marking period, you had 17 honor roll students. These are our targeted students that somehow have been deemed to possibly at risk of not graduating on time and other risk factors. There were 17 students that made the honor roll. There were 13 students that made the merit roll. And out of the 66 students in the entire program that is targeted at Warrensville Heights High School, there were 44 students with a C or better. That means 44 students out of 66 did not have a D or F. And I just think that that is something that we would like to applaud the efforts, not only from the program, the linkage coordinator, but the collaboration that we do with that school district and the other school districts. We have data that's similar to those numbers. Some other exciting things I wanted to share, and this has just happened this past week. We had 3 students at TV8 yesterday that were interviewed for the Dr. King essay. I guess that's something they do annually. And we have 3 students represented from our initiative, one from Garfield Heights, from Maple Heights High School, one from Warrensville Heights High School, and one from Shaw High School. And that segment airs now through Martin Luther King Day next Monday. I will get the links to that in the event that you are unable to view it personally. I'll make sure that you have those links. That's something else that we're excited about, because that means they are alongside other students throughout the 39 municipalities. Our students are being represented in a positive light and utilizing their oratory skills. Also, we're preparing for our annual HBCU tour, which we do this will be our 6th year, where we go to Atlanta, Selma, Morehouse, Spelman, Birmingham, where we do our exposure field trip and college tours. We're in the middle of planning that as we speak, and that will be March 30th through April the 3rd. Also, in honor of Black History Month on January 27th, you're invited. You'll get some formal information at Maple Heights High School. We're going to have an entrepreneurial panel as a part of our Black History celebration, where we'll have minority businesses from across the city that participate and engage our students in how they started their business, how they can get into business, and so forth. So that's just real brief of some exciting news. And just want to thank you for supporting our scholars. Thank you so much.
Mr. William Tarter.
Good evening, Council President Brady, County Executive Buish, and members of County Council. My name is William Tarter Jr., and I'm a resident of District 6 and a frequent attendee of the Gateway Economic Development Corporation. I'm appearing as a private citizen and not representative of my employer. I rise this evening to express my thoughts regarding the recent nomination for the board appointment to the Gateway Economic Development Corporation. On the Cuyahoga County Board and Commission website, the website lists the members of the board of Gateway Economic Development Corporation. And as you can see in your handouts that you all have, the page lists that Mr. William Reedy's term expires in 2017. So it is not clear to the public that Mr. Reedy was reappointed to a new term. Because of the outdated web page, it's also not clear that Mr. Reedy stepped down recently, creating a vacancy. So when is the public supposed to express interest to serve on the commission if they're not aware about the vacancy? With so many questions that are coming up on Gateway Capital items in the next few years, if there was awareness about opportunities to serve on commissions such as this one, it's very possible that people would have submitted their names for consideration to serve in important positions such as this. And because there was no notification that there was a midterm vacancy, the public learned about the nomination only when the nominee had been recommended. This meant that the only time that anyone who had questions or concerns could form them was between when the public committee notice went out and the actual hearing. So for example, I had serious questions about the possibility of down the road of a person who was employed by the tenant of a publicly owned hotel facility also being tasked with being the fiscal watchdog and overseer of an organization that reviews requests from tenants in 2 publicly owned sports facilities. Now, while I do not question the professional qualifications of the nominee, I nonetheless lament the opportunity to have questions asked and answered about the approach that the nominee will take to capital requests that are made by the tenants of the sports facilities. This is critically important, as it is possible that both the nonprofit organizations overseeing the teams and the hotel will have major capital requests that will come before the county in the near future. The county's fiscal resources are finite, so I believe that the role of the board that Gateway plays is to provide sound fiscal oversight, and how it fits into the overall funding availability for the county is extremely important. That's why I'm paying so much attention to this particular nomination. In general, it's so important for the public to know when board opportunities to serve come up and raise awareness so that people who are interested in serving may add their name for consideration. I have some ideas on how to improve this process, and I hope to soon engage, if I may be permitted to finish, I'm almost done. I have some ideas on how to work with the county executive and county council on improving this process. If the nomination to the unexpired term does move forward this evening, I do hope to remain in communication with the Gateway Board moving forward. However, I believe it's important to share my thoughts and concerns on the most recent nomination process. Thank you.
Mr. Bill Schmidt.
Thank you, Council, for giving me an opportunity to speak. I am Bill Schmidt, Jr. of the Sensible Movement Coalition, and I'm here to talk about the decriminalization initiative that we're talking about doing here in Cleveland, Ohio. 2 things. I would like to advocate for the full 200 grams. It's simply not enough for cancer patients. You only get 3.5 to 5 grams of cannabis oil for cancer patients. So some people think some people think that the 200-gram number is a little bit too much, but it's really not for the people that need it. So I want you guys to know that there's very important people out there that need other limits as far as oil, not just flour. And also, with the racial disparity that goes on here in Cleveland, unfortunately, when it comes to marijuana possession charges, I want to make sure that the fines are down to 0. Columbus made the unfortunate move to do it $25, which will still leave racial disparity and not really be able to have equality for the people of Cleveland or the people of Columbus. But that's something that we're trying to strive to do here in Cleveland. And I've collected signatures and helped on many of the decriminalization initiatives that we have done by Citizen Initiative. So we appreciate working with city councils like we did in Dayton last year. We presented the initiative, and they ended up just putting it on the ballot, and it ended up passing by 75%. And we had some information come out that over the last year with that decriminalization, the arrests for marijuana possession in Dayton have went down 65%. And I want to thank the mayor for that, for having the opportunity to use that money and time wisely to go after some of the bigger problems in town, like opiates. The one guy was just talking about that. And there's other things that we really need to focus our time and money on. But I just wanted to say that, and if you guys need to reach out to the Sensible Movement Coalition for anything moving forward, we would be glad to help you as well. Thank you.
Ms. Priscilla Harris?
Hi, my name is Priscilla Harris. I'm a lobbying director for Normal Appalachia of Ohio, and we're also starting a regional Cleveland Normal chapter. Recently, we had been in contact with Cleveland for the Sensible Decrim effort, and we were just coming to you guys to let you know Cleveland will actually be the 17th city in the state of Ohio to pass this decriminalization effort. So that would give up to 2 million people protection in the state of Ohio at this point. The reason we're approaching you guys as well about this issue is because it can be done at a county level on your guys' behalf. So we would like to start the conversation with you guys because we're also working at a state level to do a state level decriminalization with the state as well. I was just on the phone today with a gentleman who got charged. He was having a mental issue, or not a mental issue, a health issue, and they ended up having to call the ambulance, and he had 2 grams of marijuana in his front pocket and was charged and has a court date coming up on the 27th of this month. And it was very disheartening that he didn't have anything else going on. He needed medical assistance, and we're still spending the time prosecuting for him needing a health service by us. There's going to be tremendous benefits to taxpayer dollars, ending the racial disparity here in Cuyahoga County. So we would really like to see some support from you guys as well on this effort. Thank you.
Ms. Liu?
Good evening. For all the problems these people mentioned, let's see how trauma-informed care is going in this county. On the homeless shelter level, when I first came here about this particular issue, I did mention when Mr. Nani helping me about my condition when I'm extremely hungry, what will happen. But I forgot to tell him the emergency medication is actually something like this. However, this is considered totally illegal at this particular shelter. So Wednesday, when we had a Health Human Service and Aging Committee meetings, there was one thing Ms. Conwell mentioned. We are trying to make sure that the people in the women's shelter will have the same thing as the men's shelter. How about let's starting with the food, that if the food is not enough, please allow people to bring the food. This is my emergency medication. Actually, it's not for joy. However, if I bring this in for my conditions, I will be retaliated, but other people can still have it. So I'm here for a New Year's resolution under consideration for the first, second, and third reading adoption under the suspension of all rules. New Year Resolution 2020-0001 in the amount of $0.00. This resolution enabling all citizens in Cuyahoga County, when you talk to your representative here, doesn't matter by email, phone call, in person, please tell them, express your belief that everybody in this county should have the same equal human rights. There should be no differentiated treatment from Office of Homeless Services all the way down to the people stay in that shelter for years. This is what county council members have been strive with anti-discrimination ordinance and all other good work. Even Metro Health transformation project is to benefit everybody. Why do we still have all these discrimination, disparities in this county? This is what holding all of us back, not to progress. Please, people, this resolution definitely will be adopted because this will ensure everybody can actually better their life in this county. Equal opportunity, equal chance. Thank you very much.
Final speaker is Tanis Q.
What's happening, brother? How you doing, everybody? Yes, I was given very minimal background information relating to this legislation, related to the decriminalization. But I did feel this was a opportune moment to speak on some of the criminal justice's agenda, you know, as far as like a United States having the world's largest prison system and the majority of those people being minorities. I felt like I was a primary demographic to speak on this matter of the decriminalization of something relating to the largest prison system in the world. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Minorities have historically, you know, after the civil rights movement, you know, were targeted by certain government entities. The COINTELPRO, for example, it was a way to deconstruct much of the advancement made by the civil rights movement and is a way to systematically oppress minorities. So, I do support the decriminalization of something used as a systemic arm or appendage to a larger agenda of racial oppression. You know, that's what I felt the need to say. They invited me to speak, you know what I'm saying? I've never spoken at this type of forum before. I thank all of you for the welcoming embrace. And, I'm against the racial targeting of the criminal justice system, at certain racial demographics. That's the main thing I wanted to assert, and I know that this is definitely a contributing factor. Like, for example, they say there were different penalties for people who possess crack cocaine versus powdered cocaine. And most predominantly, you would find these drugs based on the classes sort of permeation. You would find crack cocaine more commonly in poor communities, and they said that was an intentional agenda of the government to target inner city minorities in order to mass incarcerate them, leading to the outcome of what we have today, the largest prison system in the world. And I just think this is another key element of their strategy by which to deconstruct. You have to think about lead statistics as well. That's another key factor I learned since he has the camera on me right now. Lead is another key component of governmental neglect while diverting from these key matters that contribute to the health and status of Ohioans. They're further penalizing people who commit minor drug infractions rather than repairing the actual environmental condition for the people that live there. Thank you.
That's it.
All righty. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes for the December 19th, 2019 special meeting.
Second.
All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes have been approved. Do we have a message from the county executive?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Several commenters spoke about criminal justice issues. Since the last council meeting, we brought dozens of stakeholders together for a meeting about the Diversion Center program. The consultant hired by the county came to and gave a preliminary report, and we should be getting a final written report within weeks. The good news is that everyone seems to now recognize the importance of diverting nonviolent people with mental illness and addiction problems from the criminal justice system and into more appropriate treatment options. Diversion will help people get back to productive lives while reducing the jail population. We will keep you posted as we continue to move forward, and we are moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislation introduced by council, consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2020-0001, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
And this will be referred to Human Resources. Consideration of ordinances of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2020-0001, amending section 714.02C of the Cuyahoga County Code to increase the annual funding used for the Cuyahoga County Community Development Supplemental Grant Program and to allow for the payment of costs to administer the program. Additionally, Councilmember Stevens has requested to be a primary sponsor of this item.
This will be referred to Community Development Committee.
Ordinance number 2020-0002, amending sections 406.01 and 406.02 of the Cuyahoga County Code to clarify contents of the whistleblower provisions. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell has requested to be a primary sponsor of this legislation.
This will be referred to Council Operations, Intergovernmental Relations, and Public Transportation Committee. Legislation introduced by the executive, consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Move to suspend the rules.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2020-0002, amending the 2020-2021 biennial operating budget for 2020 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, for appropriation transfers, and for cash transfers.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, my colleagues, this is the regular monthly fiscal agenda of budget amendments. Questions were directed to OBM, and the questions and answers are at your station. Most of the items are routine appropriations and transfers. Many are grant-related. Notably, $5,717,500 is appropriated for previously approved economic development projects, including the innovative new $1.5 million allocation to Arcturus to fund small business development loans with the help of the Federal Opportunity Zone program. In addition, $687,000 is appropriated in the general fund and $333,000 is appropriated in the Health and Human Services levy fund to fund the 27th payroll reserve, so that when the next 27th payroll occurs in 2027, we will be able to cover it without having a substantial additional expense. I recommend approval on first reading suspension.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2020-0003, approving an amendment to a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Cleveland Building and Construction Trades Council, representing approximately 82 employees at the Department of Public Works for the period July 1, 2018 through June 30, 2021, to establish terms of the healthcare insurance reopener and to modify Article 23, directing that funds necessary to implement the amendment be budgeted and appropriated.
Move to adopt. This was discussed in executive committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2020-0004, approving an amendment to a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and excavating, building material, construction drivers, racetrack employees, public employees, manufacturing, processing, assembling, and installer employees, local union number 436, affiliated with International Brotherhood of Teamsters, representing approximately 10 employees at the Department of Public Works Division of Animal Shelter for the period January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2020, to establish terms of the healthcare insurance and wages reopeners and to modify Articles 37 and 38, directing that funds necessary to implement the amendment be budgeted and appropriated.
To adopt. This item was also discussed in executive committee. All those in favor say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2020-0005, approving an amendment to a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Graphic Communications Conference of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Local 25M of District Council 3, representing 8 employees at the Department of Public Works print shop for the period February 1, 2018 through January 31, 2020, to establish terms of the healthcare insurance and wages reopeners and to modify Articles 13 and 25, directing that funds necessary to implement the amendment be budgeted and appropriated.
Move to adopt. This item was Also discussed in executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2020-0006, approving a proposed settlement in the matter of Corione Lawrence versus Cuyahoga County et al., United States District Court, Northern District of Ohio, Eastern Division, case number 1-19-CV-02411, and State of Ohio, ex rel. Corione Lawrence versus Clifford Pinckney et al., Ohio Supreme Court, case number 2019-0946, authorizing the appropriation of funds for payment of settlement amounts set forth herein.
To adopt. Second. This item was the other item that we discussed in executive session among other issues. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2020-0007, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Sue Biagianti to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging Board of Trustees for the term January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2022.
To HR and appointments.
Resolution number 2020-0008, confirming the county executive's appointment of Michael W. Chambers to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending October 15, 2020.
Referred to HR.
Resolution number 2020-0009, confirming the county executive's appointment or reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Cuyahoga Community College Board of Trustees for the term January 17, 2020 through January 16, 2025, as printed on the agenda.
Referred to Human Resources and Appointments.
Resolution number 2020-0010, authorizing an amendment to a revenue-generating agreement with City of Cleveland to lease space in the City of Cleveland Police Department headquarters located at 1300 Ontario Street, Cleveland, for the period October 2nd, 2018 through October 1st, 2019, to exercise an option to extend the time period to October 1st, 2020, and for a lease amount of $12 per square foot per annum, plus parking fees and the cost of the City of Cleveland's proportional share of utilities.
Public Safety.
Resolution number 2020-0011, making an award on requisition number 47063 to Shermer Construction in the amount not to exceed $584,795.20 for the Bridge Box Beam Replacement Program Part 2 for Chagrin River Road Bridge number 03.00 over Willie Creek in the village of Moreland Hills, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract.
Refer to Public Works.
Resolution number 2020-0012, authorizing a construction agreement with CSX Transportation Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $665,549 for preliminary engineering services, flagging and other protective services and devices, and construction engineering and inspection services in connection with replacement of Memphis Road Bridge 00.62 in the city of Brooklyn.
Be referred to Public Works.
Resolution number 2020-0013, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1700-266 with Trans Systems Corporation of Ohio for design engineering services in connection with rehabilitation of Hilliard Road Bridge number 08.57 over Rocky River and Valley Parkway and the cities of Lakewood and Rocky River to change the scope of services effective February 11, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,967,641.
Public Works.
Resolution number 2020-0014, approving right-of-way exhibit as set forth in plat number M5043 for replacement of Shady Road culvert number C-02.00 over Busby Ditch in Olmsted Township, authorizing the county executive through the Department of Public Works to acquire said necessary rights-of-way.
Public Works.
Resolution 2020-0015, authorizing various revenue-generating agreements with Council for Economic Opportunities in Greater Cleveland for lease of space at various Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disability Centers for operation of Head Start and preschool programs for the period February 1, 2020 through January 31, 2023, as printed on the agenda.
Public Works.
Resolution number 2020-0016, approving and concurring with amendments made to the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, NOACA, Code of Regulations on September 13, 2019, as shown in NOACA Resolution number 2019-041.
Refer to Council Operations.
Resolution number 2020-0017, authorizing a state contract with AT&T Corporation in the amount not to exceed $924,259.95 for network connectivity services for the Next Generation 911 system for the period July 31, 2019 through July 30, 2024.
Refer to Public Safety.
Resolution number 2020-0018, authorizing a contract with Passages Connecting Fathers and Sons Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,065,476 for implementation of the cognitive behavioral interventions for offenders seeking employment program for the period July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2021.
Refer to Public Safety.
Resolution number 2020-0019, authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office in the amount not to exceed $4,078,260 for legal services for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020.
Human Services.
Resolution number 2020-0020, authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities in the amount not to exceed $1,400,000 for individual options waiver eligibility verification services for reimbursement of Medicaid home and community-based services for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020.
Human Services.
Resolution number 2020-0021, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with Case Western Reserve University as fiscal agent for first-year Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $774,940 for expansion of the Moms First program in connection with the Invest in Children program for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020.
Refer to Education and Environment.
Resolution number 2020-0022, authorizing an agreement with City of Cleveland Department of Public Health in the amount not to exceed $682,276 for administration, coordination, prenatal, and interconceptional care services to high-risk families in connection with expansion of the Moms First program for the Invest in Children program for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2021.
Education.
Resolution number 2020-0023, authorizing an agreement with Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio in the amount not to exceed $2 million for fiscal agent and administrative services for the Bright Beginnings and Parents as Teachers programs in connection with the Invest in Children program for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2021.
Education.
Resolution number 2020-0024, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1800-489 with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County Incorporated, doing business as Starting Point, for management, administration, and implementation of various support services for the Universal Pre-Kindergarten Program for the period January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to July 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,229,745.
Refer to Education.
Resolution number 2020-0025, authorizing a contract with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County Incorporated, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $1,587,702 for administration and coordination of the Teacher Education and Compensation Help Program, Early Care and Education Professional Development System, and Early Care and Education Center Capacity Expansion System in connection with the Invest in Children program for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2021.
Refer to Education.
Resolution number 2020-0026, authorizing a contract with Family Connections of Northeast Ohio in the amount not to exceed $992,230 for program administration services for the Support Partnerships to Assure Ready Kids program in connection with the Invest in Children program for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2021.
This will also be referred to Education.
Resolution number 2020-0027, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for various services for the Cuyahoga Options for Independent Living Services Program for the period January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $3,600,291 with the providers as printed on the agenda.
This will be referred to Health and Human Services. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2019-0266, confirming the county executive's appointment of Terry A. Augusta to serve on the Gateway Economic Development Corporation of Greater Cleveland Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending May 31st, 2022.
Second.
Council President, this was heard in the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee meeting. Ms. Augusta has demonstrated an extensive amount of knowledge and willingness to serve on this committee, will be a tremendous asset to the Gateway Board. I'd also like to take this opportunity to address Mr. Tarter's request with regards to the notification process. We've already taken steps to address that matter, and we'll continue to work to improve those notifications. So I certainly would request my colleagues' support with this appointment.
Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0283, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 17066 with Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry for emergency shelter services for single adults at the Men's Emergency Shelter located at 2100 Lakeside Avenue, Cleveland, for the period May 1, 2017 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,231,635.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask my colleagues to support this amended contract so the county can continue to provide services for the men's shelter. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0287, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Edward H. Blakemore to serve on the Cuyahoga County Public Library Board of Trustees for the term January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Council President, this was also heard in Human Resource Appointment and Equity Committee meeting. Mr. Blakemore, as a reappointment, has demonstrated his desire to continue to serve, and he too will be a valued asset to continue to serve in this capacity, and I respectfully request my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0288, confirming the county executive's appointment of Michelle C. Scott Taylor to serve on the Cuyahoga Arts and Culture Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending March 31st, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Council President, I also would like to request an amendment with regards to this particular piece of legislation. Dr. Scott Taylor, when it was heard in committee in Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee, she would be fulfilling a term, and we would like to extend that term to represent a full following term. So the amendment is before you, and if I could make a motion to accept the amended legislation.
So moved and seconded. So we were moving this appointment, which would have ended at the end of this March,
Right.
to a year, extending it an entire year.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, and so this is a motion to accept a proposed substitute. When I understand, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in
Mr.
favor?
President,
Councilman Miller.
just for clarification,
For 2 years.
I believe it extends it more than a year. The extension goes from 4/1/2020 to 3/31/2023. So it's appointed through March, and then it's for a full 3-year term.
which Dr. Scott Taylor has accepted those terms.
Okay, well, thank you for the clarification, Councilman. All those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as substituted, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it, and the legislation is adopted on its merits.
Resolution number 2019-0290, authorizing various sole source contracts with Manatron Incorporated in the total amount not to exceed $620,301 for support and maintenance services for various Manatron systems for the period January 1, 2020 through December 31, 2020, as printed on the agenda.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution approves 2 sole source contracts for 1 year through the end of 2020 with Manatron Systems for the support and maintenance of records and software used to maintain the county's property tax records. This contract is sole source because Manatron is the company that maintains the system that the county uses. The resolution was unanimously approved in Finance and Budgeting Committee, and I recommend approval on second reading suspension.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0291, authorizing an agreement with City of Euclid in the amount not to exceed $508,121.37 for allocation of fiscal year 2016-2018 U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Home Investment Partnership Program funds for home qualified activities for the period May 1, 2019 through April 30, 2021.
Adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this resolution will provide funding to the City of Euclid to provide a wide range of activities that will improve and strengthen the housing stock, the affordable housing stock. So these activities will range from building of homes, buying, rehabbing of homes, even extends to the rental assistance to low-income people. So it was fully vetted in committee. All questions were answered. And I do ask for my colleagues' support for this legislation.
Councilman Simon.
Mr. President and council colleagues, the City of Euclid leadership, council and mayor said that this program's been extremely helpful to their community in helping with housing and keeping people in their homes and such. So I ask for support on this and ask that my name be added.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0292, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for family-centered support services for at-risk children and families for the period January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $3,500,000, with the providers as printed on the agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask my colleagues to pass this amended contract. It was fully vetted in committee to deliver and develop effective in-home services that contribute to stabilizing and strengthening the family. 67% is Title IV-E funds and 33% is the Health and Human Services levy. Thank you.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0293, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1700-281 with Mental Health Services for Homeless Persons Incorporated, doing business as Frontline Service, for temporary housing for single adults and youth at North Point Transitional Housing located at 1550 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, for the period January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,422,993.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask my colleagues to support this amended contract so the county can continue to provide services for transitional housing. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0294, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1800-167 with Young Women's Christian Association of Greater Cleveland, Ohio, YWCA, for operation and case management services at the Norma Hare Women's Shelter located at 2227 Payne Avenue, Cleveland, for the period May 1, 2018 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,751,793.
I also ask my colleagues to support this amended contract so the county can continue to provide services for the women's shelter.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0295, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1700-241 with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County Incorporated, doing business as Starting Point for out-of-school time services for youth for the period January 1, 2018 through December 31, 2019, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,645,000.
Move to adopt. Thank you very much. This matter was heard in education last week at its normal time. This is an extension of a contract with Child Care Resource for purposes of handling activities and administration of the out-of-school time for youth, just extending that period of time.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2019-0273, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires rehabilitation of St. Clair Avenue Bridge number 04.44 over Doan Brook in the city of Cleveland. Total estimated project cost $2,675,000, finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's costs of said improvement.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And Mr. President, my colleagues, this came before Public Works Committee back on December 4th, 2019. It's had two prior readings. This is dealing with the public convenience and welfare requirement of the St. Clair Bridge over Doan Brook near MLK Boulevard. This was a historical appraisal. It's going to be one of three that are going to come through. It's going to be funded 80% federal and 20% county. And I would ask for my colleagues' support on this project on third reading.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2019-0274, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires replacement of Green Road Bridge number 07.47 adjacent to Euclid Creek and resurfacing of surrounding roadway in the city of South Euclid. Total estimated project cost $4,550,000, finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's costs of said improvement. Additionally, Councilwoman Simon would like to be added as a sponsor to this.
Move to adopt.
Second.
And with respect to this legislation, it came before on the same December 4th, 2019 meeting. This is a request for public convenience and welfare over the Green Road Bridge. This is dealing with a sanitary sewer issue. And there's going to be cooperation between the county and the city of Euclid. And construction is set to begin in 2021. So a request for movement on this on third reading.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of ordinance for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2020-0003, enacting section 302.03 of the Cuyahoga County Code to provide for approval and adoption of an electronic equipment and communications policy to be applicable to all county employees.
Refer to Human Resources.
Ordinance number 2020-0004, providing for modifications to and adoption of the Cuyahoga County Human Resources Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual to be applicable to all county employees.
Refer to Human Resources. Miscellaneous committee reports.
The County Operations, Intergovernmental Relations, and Transportation Committee will meet Wednesday, January 22nd at 9 a.m.
Mr. President, my colleagues, the next meeting of Finance and Budget will be at a non-standard time because of the Martin Luther King holiday, and it will be on Tuesday, January the 21st at 3 p.m., and this will be for the administration's update on the ERP program. And also, the Committee of the Whole will meet on Thursday, January the 23rd at 10 a.m., and this will be the report from our consultant, Zig Berzens, on the ERP project. Thank you.
Mr. President, as far as the Public Works Committee, we'll be meeting Wednesday, January 22nd. I believe the time is 10:30, and we're waiting to hear back to see if all the members can make it at that time because of the holiday.
Safety, 1 o'clock Tuesday.
Health and Human Services at 1 o'clock on January 22nd.
Human Resources Appointment and Equity will meet January 21st at its regularly scheduled time of 10 o'clock.
Education, Wednesday, January 22nd at 3.
All right, well, any miscellaneous business?
Mr. President, my colleagues, I just want to bring to everybody's attention that I had the opportunity to join my colleague, Ms. Simon, this morning at the Euclid Senior Center to help launch the plastic bag program and the distribution of reusable checkout bags. And we all know that we're all consuming the Earth's resources far beyond what it can sustain, and that anything that anybody can do in their own community to help is a positive step forward. So this was a very delightful and well-attended event that helps get this program off on the right track. Thank you.
Any other miscellaneous business?
I have a few words. So thank you very much, Councilman Miller and colleagues. Today was the launch of the reusable bag giveaway. And just so everybody knows, we, through Solid Waste, acquired 25,000 reusable bags. Here's an example. This is what they look like. They're made from recycled water bottles. And what's significant is, to date, over 78 community organizations have requested bags, and we're up to over 20,000 that have been requested, and probably by the end of the week, we're probably going to already be through with the distribution requests. It's amazing how fast people are signing up for this. So I appreciate everybody's support, and it was really positive. Giant Eagle reported today that with their perks program, they've had in excess of 1 million perks that were given out for people who actually bring reusable bags, and that means that over 1 million single-use plastic bags have not been used since they started. It's only been a couple of weeks. So people are really enthusiastically bringing their reusables and jumping onto the program. So thank you, everybody. And we do have these bags if any council people would like to have some for their districts. Yeah, I reserved some for everybody.
Thank you. Any other miscellaneous business? Hearing none, well, Happy New Year. We've got a lot of committee work ahead of us, quite obviously, as we usually do at the beginning of the year. And this meeting is adjourned.